Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Well, today, just to make a quick reminder, yesterday the last course, sorry, the last part of this course, we studied, we checked how to make a little bit of effects when it comes to typography, and not just typography, actually, general objects that we put on our Photoshop. We talked of how to, for example, this particular object that I placed here, we talked of how to cast shadow on it, how to make it look like 3D, and just a little bit of some other things. If you've not watched the previous course, you should go back and check it. Well, today we're going to be finalizing the general tools on Photoshop, and as from the next course we are going to be working just practical projects. Okay, for example, we could just say we want to do a logo for a restaurant, or maybe a flyer. We'll start with flyers, we'll make some flyers, then we'll jump into the logo. It's simple, it's just to play around with tools and just to be creative. That's all. There's nothing really special about design. There's nothing really hard per se about Photoshop and graphic design generally. Now today, let's continue with where we stopped yesterday. I told you that this is a little hidden. What I did was that I came to this A or this N, whatever. For example, I could come to this N, and then I just double clicked, then this comes up. I told you that this part is just a little bit of semi-hidden feature that helps you to add more designs, more beauty to what you did. Now let me remove this A, or for now let me just remove this A, so that let me hide it so that we can see what we want to do to this N with other things. Now yesterday I talked about drop shadow, outer glow, pattern overlay. Now it's not everything that we're going to be using, but during the course of this introduction. But when we start doing projects and when we start doing major designs, some other things that we did not touch, we're going to explain. But for today, let's finish this, and then let's import a picture and see how to remove the background from the picture and just play around with some little things on the Photoshop. Now, gradient overlay. Now what gradient overlay actually does is that it makes whatever, either a shape or a letter or whatever Photoshop objects you put on the Canva, it actually makes it to have a growth in shades of color. What I mean is that from light, for example, if it is green, we are using from light green to dark green, and if it is red, light red to dark red, and then you could just play around with it. It will face right or left. Now let's delve right into it. Now this is it. All you just need to do is to click this. Now as you can see, this is white, and then it moves to gray, it moves to ash, and then it goes down to black. Now look at the control panel here. This is it. Now, first of all, let's see if we can just play around with the colors. Let's see if we can change the color. Okay, let's know if we could. Yeah, let me give something a little bit dark so that we can understand fully what we're doing here. Now look at this. Let's click OK. Now what do you notice? This was white, and then it came down until it got to this place that contains the original color. That's just simply what gradient overlay means. Now look at this. You see this place white, and then it goes down. Now you can play around with the opacity. What the opacity does is that it shows the level of the effect you made. As we go, you can see that it is beginning to take more shape, what we did, and you see it's full. If I reduce it, it's not even showing at all. If I increase it, it's showing. So and then you can play with the angle. What we mean by angle is that this part will face north, right, left, whatever degree angle you use, whatever. See, it doesn't really matter. Now, okay, let me look at this part. You discover that the white is now on this side, and then it's now going darker towards this place. Now that's practically what you can do with this gradient overlay. Now you could also use whatever. You could look at this. Now you can see that it has white here, and then it's now moving directly from this place down to this place. Now you could impute the degree you want. I just typed in 90. Whatever you want to do, it actually work with it. Now let's remove this. We will not need this again since we've understood. Now what color overlay simply means is that you're changing the entire color. It's as simple as that. Very simple. So you may not really need it. You can go to, you know, this part that I told you of, this place you see. Remember there was color there. Let me show you what I mean. Sorry. Yeah, you see this green color, you can change the color, and then you can also use color overlay. It's as simple as that. It's just the color, whatever you want to use. Let's click OK. You see that's changed to that color. Now satin. Now what does satin actually does? What satin actually do? As you can see, it's coming now. Good. It actually adds a layer, you know, a color layer on it. Now you see that this end was bright green, and then now it's more light green. Now you could play around with the colors too. Actually, satin is not must that you use black. Do you understand? But then blacks actually show better on it. Now let me show you what I mean. Let me come to color overlay. Let me pick a very bright color so that you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Now let me unclick this. Now what do you see? It's very light. This is more like light pink. Okay, now we used blue on it, right? Now let's put black. Now what do you see? It's darkening it. Let me put it that way. It's simple, just trying to make things very simple for you. It's just making it darker. Now let's proceed from there. Now inner glow, I don't know if, okay, not going to show here, but then let me cancel this and make another. See if I can, or let me see if a shape will do. Let me see if a shape will do. Let me remove this. Now I don't know. The inner glow, it's not in all elements that you can see the effect. Actually, it's not in all elements you could see the effect, but let's just see this particular one. If it doesn't work on this one, as we move on with the project, you'll be able to get that inner glow. Okay, it doesn't show. Now let me show you inner shadow. Inner shadow, don't forget the last time that we talked about shadow, it was outside. Inner shadow is inside. It's just inverted. It's as simple as that. Now let's see the difference. Drop shadow. Now let's make it big. Let's put the spread. Aha! Now what do you see? Outside this layer you can see shadow. It's casting a shadow. It's like this circle is actually staying in front, and then the shadow is behind it. Now let's remove this drop shadow. We don't want drop shadow. We want to show what inner shadow is all about. You see that the inner shadow has shown. Now let's come to this place. Let's increase the distance. Let's put about the size. What do you now see? It has formed an eclipse image automatically. This is now a sphere. It's now sphere. I mentioned eclipse because of this, you know, it's dark, and then the moon, just like eclipse of the moon. But then this is sphere, and it's just take complete shape. It's as simple as that. Okay, now let's remove this layer just to proceed with what we are doing. All I did was to click on delete. Now going back to our end, let's finalize by touching stroke. What stroke actually does is that it adds a color around this end, you know, around whatever object you are using. It must not be, don't forget, everything I'm showing you must not be letters. I just use letters just so that we could understand better, but Now let me increase the size of this. I'm sure you must have seen it in designs before. You see? You see this? Now it was not really showing before, but then when I played around with the size, it can get bigger. Do you understand? It's as simple as that. That's just what stroke does. Now if we do this, we go back to G, and then we go and then we add our stroke effect again. Make it just around the same size as N. Okay, may not be, may just be similar size, and then let's bring back our A. Aha, you see. So this, we are just playing, we're not really doing anything in design, but we're just playing around with all the options, with all the tools in this. Now before we go, finally, let's cut an image. I just want to show you new good ways of cutting, or actually, sorry, removing the background of the image. Removing the background is another tool that you're really going to be needing. Now let me bring a simple image down to this place. Let me pick this image, let me drop it here, and then there you go. Okay, now we're going to touch this guy today. We want to remove this background. Okay, this background is more like light pink, or I don't know, it's just more like a different shades of color. Now I'm going to show you a very simple way to do this. Now what is the simple way to do this? This simple way is called the magic wand tool. The magic wand tool. Magic wand tool. And I'm going to show you another way to do it. Now what does the magic wand tool do? It performs magic. Click on where you want. I've just clicked on this whole background, and what next? Press delete. Press what? Delete. Where we have a white background, so it's going to show the background color. If we put black, it's going to show black, but unless, okay. Now if you see something like this, could not complete your request because smart object is not directly editable, all you just need to do is to come to this place and rasterize your image. Rasterize your image. That's one way. There are other ways you could do, but simple way is just to rasterize your image. Now let's go back. To remove all these black lines that is showing, just do Control D, Control D, Control D. Now let's click on our magic wand tool again. Don't forget, I just clicked on the whole background, and then I'm clicking delete. Voila, our magic has been performed. And then let me remove. We can go back, and make things perfect. Abi, yeah, let's click on another delete, and then you see now this guy is now staying on a white background, like he snapped it in a studio that had a white background. Is as simple as that. Now let's go back and let me show you another way to do this. I'm clicking Control Alternate Z to put back everything that we've done, and then I just clicked Control D to remove these black lines you're seeing. Now to go back, I may not do everything, but just I'm going to show you how to actually select this guy out of this place. Now this one I'm showing you, don't just think I'm going to use the easy one. Now it's going to be needful when the whole background is not the same color. The magic tool performed its magic because it was the same color. There are many ways to do this, but this is a simple way. You could just come here. First of all, don't forget, when you are doing something like this, don't forget, please zoom in. Don't, the very sensitive part is the head, but then let's just it's advisable to start from the head, but for speed, so that I will not delay you today, let's remove this guy and his smiles. You can see that I'm not really touching the background per se, but I'm just moving around with this guy, and I'm dragging my tool, and then I'm clicking. Now it may not really be perfect because I'm trying to be very fast. When you do something like this, you really need to take your time. Don't rush anywhere, because you don't want to spoil the face of somebody and the person will say, what kind of design is this? You just spoiled my face, you just did this, I'm not collecting this, or whatever. You know Naija now, you know you like nonsense. You do nonsense, they don't agree. You say, may you come pay back their money. So but then I'm taking my time to really carve out this guy. Don't forget, the hair is very sensitive. very very sensitive, and then you have to really if I'm to tell you exactly how to go on with this without actually making mistakes, I will advise that you zoom in totally and completely. What did I say? Zoom in totally and completely. What I mean is by clicking Control plus. Yep. I've not achieved the last part of the zoom. The only reason why I'm doing this is because I don't want to delay in this video. I'm just showing you how to cut this guy, but if I'm to do this for any other maybe a project I'm doing, I will take my time, and then I will carve out everything without rushing. Yeah, but anyways, the image may be very sketchy per se, but then I just want to show you what I mean. Okay, now I was bringing it to this place. You can see this zero. When I remove it, I put it back. You see, something like zero came up into being, and then we've been able to select everything. Now all I just need to do is to come here. I'm going to click on, oh yeah, okay, I'm going to click, what am I doing? Let me zoom out. Now what I just did was that I clicked on alternate key. You will see that there is one white cursor that is appearing after the black cursor. Look at this thing I'm shaking on this guy's clothes. Look at black and then white. Once it shows, you drag. Okay, you drag, and then let's come here, let's click this image. We would love to, let me do this, let me open a new, just so that you could see exactly the difference between the past and the present. All I did is to drag it to this place, this untitled something, and then I'm dropping it, and then I'm going back here. Now you see our guy is now on white background. Simple and straightforward. Simple. You can discover that the hair is a little bit sketchy, but it's nice. His hair has a perfectly rounded head. Oh, but then it's not, there's nothing more than this. Now I'm sure you must have seen some persons when they are editing images, you discover that someone is not staying in front of a Lamborghini, and then they'll carry his picture and put it in front of a Lamborghini, and the guy cannot lie that na me get the Lamborghini. Now lie. Now Photoshop. This is exactly what they did. They just removed the guy from wherever he is and put him there. He can even sit on the king's chair, and balance, and then put his hand like this. But then he just posed like that, and then we cut him out, and then we put him on chair. Later on, we're going to be touching photo image manipulation, and then you're going to understand fully what I mean. Thank you very much, guys. We're done for today. The next course, the next part of this, you're going to be seeing it down below. We're going to be doing real life projects. This is Techkea. If you're new here, subscribe, and if you're new here, tell your friend about Techkea. We teach stuffs for free: programming, Photoshop, and name it. Have a nice day.